Today, I'm excited to share with you one of Cricut's brand new projects. It is temporary tattoo paper. I printed this out on an Epson ET4700 printer. I just used the setting for coated paper and I told it to do it in best quality. You also need to make sure that when you print these, you mirror your design. Now after they're printed, you take the sheet right out of the printer and then you have to use like a hairdryer on top of it and get it nice and dry before you go to the next step. The instructions tell us this needs to be done for about 2 minutes to ensure that it's dry. I'm blow drying this on top of a cutting board so that the heat doesn't warp my self-healing mat. Right now, this seems really dry to me, but that does put out a lot of ink, and this paper is kind of thick. I want to make sure that it's completely dry. So I'm going to give it just a bit longer here. If you heat it from the back as well as from the front, it'll also help with the warping of the paper. Okay, that should be good. Okay, I'm not feeling anything that feels like it might not quite be dry yet. Okay, now we'll go on to the next step. Okay, now that that's done, inside your package is also matching clear sheets that you need to place on top when the print is completely dry. Now what I like to do is I will start a corner and then I like to peel back just a little bit of that corner, like about the top inch maybe, and then we'll fold that down so it'll stay put. And then I line up the part that's not sticky on my sheet to make sure that it matches up as perfectly as possible. And then just press down. Okay, and for this, I'll probably use my big scraper so I can cover more ground. Make sure your scraper is clean. If you've got gunk on your edges or your edge is rough, it's going to scratch the surface of this when you try to press it down. Now, I'm just going to press down as I pull this backing sheet off. Try to keep as many air bubbles out of here as we possibly can. Then we'll smooth it out. And you want to check it and make sure you don't have any air bubbles underneath. Looks like I'm good. I am going to use my Cricut Maker 4 to cut these. Now on your printed sheets, you have this little arrow up here in your top left corner. that's telling you that that needs to be up here at the top left corner of your cutting mat. Now when I do mine, I tend to come just a tiny bit away from the outside edge, like maybe a 1/16 of an inch, just so that I can actually see the line from the edge of the mat. Okay, now because this paper is really glossy, I don't want to take chances of it not reading it, so I'm going to turn off my light to cut down on the glare. Let me try not to make you guys sick. I'm going to let this go in real time so that you guys can see how long it takes. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my light back on now that it's finished scanning. Okay, there we go. My granddaughter absolutely loves stickers. She sticks them to absolutely everything. They are stuck all over my house. She uses them as tape. She decorates everything under the sun with them. So I just know that these temporary tattoos are going to be a huge hit with her. Some of these had some pretty intricate edges, and it looks like it's moving along quite nicely. This is set for a double cut, so it will cut twice. And then when it's done, I'll check on a corner and peel it up just a little bit, just to make sure it cut through. I don't know about you guys, but print and cut is one of my favorite features for Cricut machines. I use print and cut so much. We're almost halfway. All of the images that are on this tattoo sheet that I printed today came from Cricut Design Space. They're all part of Access, and I'm fairly certain that all of them were from the contributing artists. The contributing artists images are for personal use only, so you can't use them to make a product and then sell the project. But they just have such amazing images, and some of them are just so cute. All of these unicorns and butterflies that I found were from several different people. Almost done. Okay, now let's test and see if these cut through. And yes, it looks like they cut through. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to peel off this excess. So what I'm going to do is get it started, and then I'm going to straighten you guys back out. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so I'm going to get this started, and then I'm going to flip my mat over. And I'm going to peel the mat away from the product. I do that to keep from curling up my paper, though in this case that wasn't really a problem. Okay, and then I'm just going to kind of hold my mat kind of curled like this, and just come back and gently peel all these off. And as you can see, they all cut out beautifully. And as always, I clean off any little extras off of my mat, and then immediately stick my cover back on so that my mat stays clean. Now I will go set up for the next step. Now for the fun part. Okay, Luna, you want to pick one of these out? You want that one? Okay. Okay, now what we're supposed to do is peel off that little clear layer.
Is it hard to peel off the plastic for that?
Well, it peels off pretty easy if you can get a hold of it. Okay, where do you want me to put it?
Somewhere on here?
Nope, on you. Where on you?
There.
It's pretty big, so we want to put it up here. Okay, let's put your arm up here. Here, let's scooch our camera down just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to put it right here, right? Okay. So now we're going to put it face down. You want it like that? Yeah? Okay. Okay, then we're going to stick it down to your skin. Okay, and then we're going to grab a pretty damp wash rag. And we're just going to set it on there and let it get nice and wet. It should take about 30 seconds to soak through. Are you excited? Is that a yes? Nobody can hear you nodding your head. Now you're looking to pick out another one for your other arm? Yeah? Let's see if this is wet enough. Oh, it looks like it worked. Ta-da! Now you gotta try not to touch it for about a half an hour, okay? So you don't accidentally rub it off. Now you want another one?
That one.
You want this one? Okay. Let's see if maybe the little clear piece will come off a little bit easier from this one.
I see a tiny holes.
Well, it's where there was clear spots in the design. Okay, that one peeled off pretty easy. Where do you want this one? Want it on your other arm? You want it like right here?
Right there.
You want it way over here by your elbow? Okay. And then we'll stick it down. Now the great thing about these is when you peel that clear piece off, the underspot is actually kind of sticky. So when you put it down on the skin, it'll stay stuck for you, so it keeps it in place better. You like it?
I can't touch it until like about
Well, I'm not rubbing it. I'm just kind of touching it to make sure it's dry. Just be careful you don't rub on it or scratch it, okay?
I can't scratch if it gets itchy there.
Nope. You're just gonna have to hope it doesn't get itchy there. Because you might scratch it off.
Only if you do a super, super white scratch.
Well, or maybe if it gets itchy, just do this. Make it stop itching. Huh? No? You don't think that'll work? Okay, let's see if this one's ready. Look at that. How awesome is that? Is that fun? Here, let's see if we can move your arm up a little bit. How cool is that? So it just goes to show, the brighter your colors, the better. This one wasn't quite as bright, so it doesn't show up quite as good as this one does. This one was super bright colors.
That's why I chose that one.
Great new product from Cricut. Happy crafting!